Hello, this is take 2 of today's entry, 505, possibly 506. I did record in Orchard last time, but my thumb accidentally hit the stop button. So now I'm that's actually right there. Right there is where I shot the last video. So I'm near the SMU campus. I'm on the SMU campus. Today's been really good. I'm finding that I'm like eating a lot, so I don't know, like I'm eating a lot more than I thought, which is fine. I just gonna have to kick up the walking a bit. The food here suffers from what I think a lot of Asian food suffers from. It's really white. And I'll say that again, it's really white. White food is kind of notorious for being unhealthy because it means that it's been purified and bleached and sort of harassed until it doesn't have any more color. And generally, color is nutrition. And so there's a lot of white food is mostly non-nutritious, but it's fine. It's still really tasty. So today I ate a lot of really good stuff, drank a lot of good stuff. I'm drinking a lot of milk tea. I know I shouldn't, but it's so good that I have to have it at least like every other day. Something I wanted to talk about, and what I've already talked about once, is something a little more serious rather than just recapping the last couple of days. And it's this sort of idea of government and sort of freedom. Now, before I start, I should say that I'm American, and in America, we are known as, land of the free. We are kind of the pinnacle of freedom, or quote-unquote freedom. What does that afford us? What does that freedom really do for us as Americans? I couldn't really say. I think for the most part, people have an illusion of freedom in America that they like to traffic in. Do I think that we are indeed the most free country in the world? I would say probably the first or second. Maybe not the first, but we are definitely unique in a lot of our liberties that we are allowed to partake in. Now, having said that, I'll move on to kind of my point. The idea of Singapore, it's a bit of a very safe country right now. I'm jaywalking, so making it less safe. But the idea of its safety and its cleanliness and its law-abiding citizens and all this make it something that is very, I think, attractive to people. And you ask yourself, like, what makes it so safe? What makes it so nice to live? What makes the quality of living so high? And for the most part, I think the answer you would come across is the relinquishing of some freedoms. And I know that might seem scary and whatever, but it definitely plays an impact here. In order to maintain this sort of utopian-like society, I think the citizens here have had to give up a lot of something, or not a lot, but definitely had to give up some things that Americans would be very hesitant to give up, to give away to the government. Now, I think a lot of people would have those hesitations mainly because they fear the government. And I think that kind of fear really says a lot to kind of how pessimistic a lot of people are towards the government, towards big G government, like national government. You're assuming that government will take advantage of this sort of power, just relinquishing of its citizens' power, and become more authoritarian. And I think that is definitely a possibility. Throughout history, I do think you could easily point to some cases where governments have taken advantage of wartime freedoms that the citizens had to give up, and I definitely think that is, something that is of a concern. But do I think that it is impossible to have a good government and still relinquish some freedoms, like freedom of speech? And I would say, yeah, I think it's definitely possible, and it definitely works in some places. You really get a sense of that here in Singapore, where the people have maybe kind of given up a few freedoms in favor of safety and a higher quality of life, standard of living. I don't think there's very many countries in the world that can say that could boast that kind of thing. It's a really awesome place, and I just have to think about more the kind of idea of giving up your. The question is it worth it? Is giving up your liberties worth the prosperity of a government that takes more control away from its citizens? And I have to think about it more, but as it stands now, it seems pretty nice. Of course I'm not a citizen here, but it seems pretty nice. So I'll have to think about it more. Anyway, thanks for watching. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye.